So I got these stems from OST. Looks like there's drums, move bass lines and guitars, and I'm gonna chop this big picture into little pieces like a jigsaw puzzle, and then I'm gonna rearrange them and make my own picture out of them. My name is Rayna Zemel, and I'm from Los Angeles. I am a composer slash producer, and I tour with various bands as a Ableton programmer and playback operator. So it looks like we're coming up on fill here, and I think I'm gonna like that. Yep, I'm gonna like that. To really simplify it, I think a good remix makes the original song sound better. I also just added some drums. We're gonna make it a little dancey. All right, let's see what's going on with this bass line. It still incorporates elements of the original song, but you put your own flavor and spin onto it. Oh, it's funky. I like that. It reminds me of Super Mario Brothers. I know that this first line, that dun dun dun, is basically gonna be home base for me. So let's just chop this one up. And then I'm gonna take parts of that and then chop that guy up. So I just have a little bit more control over what it is playing. So in my head, I'm already kind of formulating what this is gonna sound like just by using these little pieces. Ooh, I already have an idea for this one. Because that's a nice drawn out line. I'm probably gonna do something crazy like, I don't know, transposition. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a nice ending to it right there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of effects on this, because this bass sounds really good on its own, but I kind of want to just beef it up a little bit. So I added a chorus on it, make it sound a little wider. Saturator, which is like my go-to plugin. I'm gonna use a filter first. I know I'm gonna use a filter, I just don't know when, but it's just a good way to transition between different parts of the song. And then a flanger. And then probably some reverb on it. I'm gonna start mapping this out on my Morph controller. So I've been using the Morph mostly on the road because it's very compact. I can throw it in my backpack. The portability is really the most important thing to me. If I can't just sit down, plug in and go, then I'm not motivated to work on music at all. But with this, it's literally just take it out of the bag, plug it in, open up Ableton, and then I can start composing. Okay, so let's see, we got this guitar. Let's see what's going on with this guitar. I put some, delay and reverb on it, but let's reverse it because I think it sounds cool. And as far as effects, I just have an auto pen, so it just sounds cool. Like if you're listening to it on headphones, it's going back and forth between your ears, and then a nice filter on this guy. And then beat repeat, because I mean you can always do cool stuff with beat repeat. Now it's got more of like a swell feel to it. We went from having this kind of really straightforward guitar part to having something that is completely different from what it was before. And then autofilter, because one of the easiest things that you can do to create transitions between different parts of your song is to either throw a reverse cymbal on or just filter something. It doesn't change the dynamics, but it makes you think that you're changing the dynamics. For this intro, I knew that it was going to be I wanted to build it up. This reverse guitar, I layered it right here with another guitar. I filtered it, but then I added a pitch pedal to it. So it's now playing a full octave down from where it originally was. And it just kind of layers nicely on top of. So again, it's just texture. I'm not trying to overpower, I'm just kind of trying to fill in some of the blanks. I think there's more strength in the sounds that aren't played as opposed to the sounds that are played. And this is a problem that I find myself running into all the time, is that I just want to fill things up. I just want to fill every possible space with a sound. But that can get really, really overpowering, and turns into soup after a while. So I just have these atmospheric sounds that I found a couple of years ago, and then I've just been using them ever since. They're not crazy sounding, but they just kind of add a nice little texture. And then I can pitch them up or pitch them down to whatever the key of the song is. And then when you play it with everything, for this remix, I didn't go into a crazy left field direction. I kept the original element, that swing, that groove, and just kind of chopped it up and flipped it and added my own drums that I layered on top of it to kind of make it sound bigger. There's remixing, and then there's like reworking. I mean, with a remix that has vocals on it, it's almost a little bit easier because I feel like you almost have a little bit more creative freedom to make your own sounds because your point of reference will be the vocals. That's going to be what everybody's going to recognize. But when there's no vocals, when it's just instruments, you're a little bit more beholden to what the original sound is. I have all these presets that I make. I try to have everything set up beforehand so I don't have to switch between my creative part of my brain and my technical part of my brain. When I first got this thing, I actually spent a good 2 days just like mapping things the way that I wanted them to be mapped. So as soon as I was ready to sit down and start making some music, then I could just get the idea that's in my head out as quickly as possible, because I think that's the most important part, is just getting that flow, capturing it. Okay, I don't even want to listen to anything else. I just like this part right here. That's it.